This video is just going to be a brief recap on the basic theorem of Pythagoras. Okay, so if we look at this line here, AB, is opposite the right angle. See how this right angle is sandwiched in between these two lines? The line that it doesn't touch, this line here is called the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is always the longest side. The hypotenuse we always label C. The other sides we're going to label A and B. The theorem of Pythagoras states that if we square the long side, if we square the hypotenuse, that is the exact same as if we square the two shorter sides and add them together. Okay, so C squared equals A squared plus B squared. We're just going to look at a few examples and see how that actually works in practice. Okay, let's look at this first example here. We've got the triangle ABC, and let's imagine that I've been asked to calculate the length of this side here. Let's call that length x. So step one, what you have to do when you're doing Pythagoras questions is you need to label your sides. So step one is you label your hypotenuse. So the hypotenuse is the one that's opposite the right angle. The hypotenuse is always C, the others are A and B. So we've labelled our sides. We're going to write down our formula. C squared equals A squared plus B squared. We're now just going to substitute in our values. Our side C is represented by the variable x. So it's going to be x squared equals 12 squared plus 5 squared. If we just tidy it up a bit, x squared is going to equal 169. So I know that x squared is 169, but as we see, we're looking to calculate x. And so to calculate x, I need to take the square root of 169. And doing so, that would give me a value of x equals 13 centimeters. So if you have a Pythagoras question and you're asked to calculate the hypotenuse, you should be adding. In this second example, we've got a triangle once again, ABC, and this time we've been asked to calculate this side here. Just so we know, these lengths are not done to scale. So 25 meters AB is, and CB or BC is 7 meters. Now I want to calculate this side here. So step one, once again, is I want to label my sides C, A and B. C is always the one that's opposite the right angle, the hypotenuse, so that's always the longest. The others are A and B. Okay, so let's have a look at what we're actually asked to calculate here. We're asked to calculate this length here. So I am not looking for the hypotenuse this time. I've got the hypotenuse. I'm looking to calculate a smaller side. And what we're going to do first is we're going to derive how to calculate that smaller side. Pythagoras' theorem states that C squared equals A squared plus B squared. But in this problem, I want to calculate B. So I can rearrange this formula. If I take away A squared from both sides, I'll have C squared take away A squared equals B squared. And if I just rewrite that, B squared equals C squared take away A squared. Okay, so I'm looking for a smaller side this time. I'm not looking for the hypotenuse, so essentially I'm doing my hypotenuse squared take away the other smaller side squared. I'm expecting my answer to be less than 25. So this is the formula I'm going to need to be using here. B squared equals C squared take away A squared. So B is x, so we're going to have x squared equals 25 squared take away 7 squared. And that is going to be equal to 576. So x squared is 576, so to find out x, we need to square root that, and that is going to give me a value of 24 meters. Okay, so it is smaller than the hypotenuse, but if you are looking for a shorter side, you should be subtracting with Pythagoras this time. So you do the big side squared, take away the smaller side squared. follow through the procedure and you should not encounter many problems. Thank you very much.